A new era in warfare has just begun. The United States has unveiled a weapon so fast, so unstoppable, that it could rewrite the balance of power on the global stage. This isn't just another missile. It's a direct challenge to Russia's pride. The A-235 defense shield that has long guarded Moscow like an iron wall. For years, Russia's missile dominance has gone unshaken. But now, the question is clear. Has America just built the weapon that finally changes everything? Over the past 3 decades, Russia relations have swung between fragile peace and bitter rivalry. In the early 1990s, leaders like Boris Yeltsin and Bill Clinton tried to build a partnership, but disputes over NATO expansion, the Kosovo War, and conflicts in the Middle East quickly soured that hope. By 2022, the Ukraine war plunged relations into a new low. The U.S. supplied advanced weapons, sanctions piled up, and both nations doubled down on military buildup. Russia poured its focus into hypersonic weapons and its most feared shield, the A-235PL-19 Nudol, built to guard Moscow against nuclear strikes. This system uses powerful radars and even nuclear-tipped interceptors to destroy incoming missiles. NATO calls it the ABM-4 Gorgon, a beast so deadly that no missile was thought capable of slipping through. But now, that beast may have met its match. The U.S. has unleashed something faster, stronger, and deadlier. The Dark Eagle, officially known as the Long-Range Hypersonic Weapon, LRHW. This missile is unlike anything the world has ever seen. At first glance, it looks ordinary, but what it carries inside has left military analysts stunned. Each Dark Eagle battery comes with 4 mobile launchers, advanced targeting systems, and a command center, similar to Patriot missile batteries, but far more dangerous. Once fired, the Dark Eagle reaches hypersonic speeds, anything above Mach 5. To put that into perspective, a NATO rifle bullet travels at 2,500 miles per hour. This missile can fly at more than 17 times the speed of sound, literally faster than a bullet. Here's how it works. The first rocket stage propels it beyond 100 kilometers, brushing the edge of space. Then the second stage kicks in, pushing it even higher, well above most ICBM altitudes. Finally, the warhead detaches, transforming into a hypersonic glide body. Unlike traditional warheads, it doesn't even need explosives. Its sheer kinetic energy, combined with blistering reentry temperatures of over 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit, turns it into a weapon of pure destruction. And here's the terrifying part. The Dark Eagle doesn't just fall straight down. It can zigzag, shift altitude, and dodge interceptors while traveling at unimaginable speeds. Then, in the final seconds, it dives nearly vertically, delivering a strike that no defense system can react to in time. This is not science fiction. It's here. And it may have just ended Russia's long-standing dominance in missile defense. Imagine a weapon so fast and so precise that no defense system on Earth can reliably stop it. That's the reality of the U.S. Army's Dark Eagle, America's first true hypersonic missile. To create such a game-changer, the Army and Navy joined forces for years of development. Their plan is ambitious. Deploy Dark Eagle not only on Army ground launchers, but also on Navy Zumwalt-class destroyers and Virginia-class submarines. This partnership is fueled by one urgent reason: the rapid rise of Chinese defenses in the Pacific. If war ever breaks out, both services know they'll need weapons that can penetrate those defenses. Dark Eagle represents America's official entry into the global hypersonic arms race, a race already led by China and Russia. On the surface, it might look like just another weapons program, but on the world stage, its deployment is a calculated response to the growing arsenals of Beijing and Moscow. Take China, for example. In 2019, it revealed the DF-17 missile system, a weapon designed with a hypersonic glide vehicle to punch through advanced air defenses and hit high-value targets like aircraft carriers. With a range of up to 2,000 kilometers, it's already a backbone of the PLA rocket force. At sea, the Chinese Navy has also begun fielding the YJ-21, a ship-launched hypersonic missile with long-range strike capability. Russia, on the other hand, has been equally aggressive. Its avant-garde hypersonic glide vehicle, mounted on intercontinental ballistic missiles, can reach an astonishing Mach 20 while performing evasive maneuvers. Another, the Kinzhal, is an air-launched ballistic missile that has already seen combat, proving its operational readiness. These weapons have dramatically reshaped Russia's deterrent strategy and forced NATO to rethink its defenses. Against this backdrop, the Dark Eagle stands out. Unlike Russia's Zircon, which slows down to about Mach 4.5 in its final approach and has already been intercepted by Patriot systems, the Dark Eagle maintains true hypersonic speed throughout its flight. This makes it the world's first fully operational hypersonic missile with proven survivability against modern defenses. The U.S. Army plans to buy 64 of these missiles, 18 for testing and 48 for combat units across 6 batteries. Meanwhile, the Navy intends to arm each Zumwalt destroyer with 12 Dark Eagles, while an undisclosed number of Virginia-class submarines will also carry them. If the U.S. unleashed its entire known arsenal of 84 Dark Eagles in a conflict, the damage to enemy infrastructure would be catastrophic. When fired, these missiles can be used for either volley strikes, multiple missiles overwhelming enemy defenses, or precision strikes aimed at critical targets like missile bases and command centers. In a war with Russia, for example, the U.S. could use Dark Eagle salvos to neutralize Kinzhal and avant-garde launch sites before they ever fire. But the Dark Eagle is just one piece of America's growing hypersonic arsenal. Another is the AGM-183A air-launched rapid response weapon, YARRW, developed by Lockheed Martin, launched from a B-52H Stratofortress. This missile offers a different kind of advantage. Surprise! Enemy radars can only detect it in the last 15 seconds of flight. Far too late to mount an effective counterattack. With a range of 1,000 miles and speeds between Mach 7 and Mach 8, it's deadlier than Russia's Zircon. Even better, the ARRW can be carried by multiple aircraft, including the F-15E, F/A, 18 Super Hornet, EA-18G, F-16C, and the P-8 Poseidon. This gives U.S. forces unprecedented flexibility in striking high-value land and sea targets. But there's a catch. The missile can't adjust its flight path mid-course, meaning it works best against stationary targets. That limitation comes from physics itself. At hypersonic speeds, the heat generated forms a plasma cloud around the missile, blocking GPS signals and even radio communication. This forces the missile to rely on internal navigation systems, leaving no room for error. It's one reason early tests of the AGM-183A saw mixed results. To solve this, engineers developed scramjet engines, special engines that only function at speeds above Mach 5. No other nation has mastered this technology yet, making the U.S. the only country with working scramjet-powered hypersonic systems. In contrast, Russia and China rely on rocket-boosted glide vehicles that eventually slow down, making them more vulnerable. Even with challenges, the arrival of Dark Eagle and other U.S. hypersonic weapons signals a turning point. For the first time, America isn't just catching up. It's positioned to take the lead in a race that could decide the balance of global power. What if I told you the United States has quietly built a weapon so fast and so elusive that no enemy defense system in the world can reliably stop it? A weapon that turns stealth fighters into unstoppable hunters and gives America an edge even Russia and China can't ignore. The journey to this point began decades ago. In 2004, NASA's X-43A became the first vehicle in history to fly with a hypersonic engine. Just a few years later, on May 27, 2010, the X-51A Wave Rider pushed the limits again, reaching Mach 5 and holding it for 200 seconds, a world record for sustained hypersonic flight. These achievements laid the foundation for the U.S. hypersonic weapons program, paving the way for DARPA's HAWWC project with the U.S. Air Force. Fast forward to January 30, 2023. The U.S. successfully tested a hypersonic missile that flew at 3,300 miles per hour, soaring over 60,000 feet. But this was just the beginning of something far more game-changing. The creation of Mako, Lockheed Martin's air-launched hypersonic missile. Unlike the oversized AGM-183A, which stealth jets cannot carry, Mako is compact, deadly, and stealth-compatible. In fact, it's the first hypersonic weapon ever launched from inside a fighter's bomb bay. Imagine an F-35 Lightning II slipping past enemy radar, approaching the perfect launch point unnoticed, and then releasing Mako. Within seconds, the missile accelerates to 5 times the speed of sound, maneuvering unpredictably to ensure no defense system can catch it. The result? A nearly 100% chance of a successful strike. Mako isn't just fast. It's versatile. It can destroy surface ships, land targets, and even advanced air defense systems. And unlike traditional ballistic missiles, it doesn't follow a predictable path. It's a true hypersonic hunter, operating in high-altitude regimes where speed and agility make it nearly impossible to intercept. Right now, the only defense system capable of even attempting to stop such weapons is America's Aegis system, and even that isn't foolproof. That's what makes Mako such a game-changer. It gives the U.S. a decisive lead in the hypersonic race. Of course, America's hypersonic journey wasn't without setbacks. Budget cuts, testing delays, and development challenges slowed progress. But with systems like Dark Eagle already being deployed by the U.S. Army, and new weapons from the Air Force and Navy in the pipeline, the picture is becoming clear the U.S. has entered the hypersonic battlefield for real. Dark Eagle, in particular, sends a message that cannot be ignored. To allies, it offers reassurance. To adversaries like Russia and China, it's a warning. The United States now holds the capability to strike high-value targets deep inside enemy territory at speeds too fast to counter. The age of American hypersonic dominance has begun.